Welcome to A Rare Reality, a podcast powered by Jordan's Guardian Angels. I'm Christina Janes, Director of Outreach and Content Development for JGA, and I am joined today by Karolina Warszton, who is also not only a mom with a child who lives with Jordan syndrome, but an ambassador for JGA. And Karolina, I am so excited that you're here today. We talked about this at conference and talked about having you on to do a podcast, but it's become a reality, and I'm thrilled to see you. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Oh, it's going to be a great talk. Tell me, for those families that don't know, where are you in the world right now?
So, my origins and my husband's origins, we are Polish,
Right.
but we live in England, in a beautiful city, Bournemouth, south of England. We've lived here 21 years now, and this is where Oleg was born.
Yes. And that's where he got his diagnosis as well, right?
Indeed,
Okay.
indeed.
Now,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about Oleg. How old is he now?
Oleg will be 15 in August, 28th of August. He will be 15. So he is a proper teenager now.
Yeah. Which comes with so many new things, right?
Indeed, indeed.
It is a journey in and of itself, but teens and tweens and everything in between. But
Yes.
tell us a little bit about how this journey unfolded for you. Let's start at the beginning because so many of our families want to hear what that was like, 15 years ago. Um, Talk me through the day that Oleg was born.
So Oleg was born through C-section. He was overdue. I was huge. I was puffed.
Yeah.
People were chatting like pointing at me on the street, asking me if I carry triplets or more than that.
Don't
But
you
I
love
was
those
huge.
questions? You're like, no, I'm not. I'm just ready to go.
But I was huge. I think because of the fact that I was retaining a lot of water. And when Oleg was born, he didn't want to come out. So in the end, they had to, it was a difficult labor. And in the end, I had C-section.
Mhm.
Um, and as soon as he was born, when they took me to the ward and he started crying, I knew there's something wrong. He didn't cry like a normal child.
Mhm.
And then going on, um, he didn't respond like normal children to feeding, to wet nappies, to everything. But being a first-time mom,
Yeah.
you don't know
How do you know? Right.
what's
Right.
different. And they all keep telling you, your every child develops differently. Then there was 3 months checkup, and there was something wrong with his hips, so they sent me for a checkup. They said it's okay, but he wasn't following the smile or the finger. So from the very beginning, there were signs that there is something wrong. And then he didn't sit down on time, and he
Mhm.
didn't start crawling on time. There was a lot of signs, but unfortunately, because it's only two of us, we both have to work.
Mhm.
So after a year, which I know I am privileged, I had to go back to work.
Right.
And then he went to nursery. And I think that was the best thing ever for our family because in that place, that specific place, they've noticed there's something wrong with Oleg. And they started like pediatrician help here, there, and everywhere. And that's how it started. We started with all the pediatricians and all the therapy. And um, yes, that's went on until he went to school.
Hmm.
And
Was
he
anyone
went,
giving you any answers? Were they saying anything
no,
to you? Was it just
no,
wait?
no, actually, they did give me answer. Oleg he wasn't even 2 years old
Hmm.
when they diagnosed him with global developmental delay.
Hmm.
And that was his diagnosis at the age of 2. They offered us genetic tests, which obviously that was so long ago, 13 years ago.
Right.
Nothing has come out. Then we carried on because I knew there's something. I knew that, it's impossible that Oleg has global developmental delay
Hmm.
and he hasn't got anything else.
Else. Right. Right. There's got to
Uh,
be a root cause to this somewhere.
yes. He's restless legs. Everyone was saying he's growing. All these things. There was always a solution to this, but as a mom,
Mhm.
there is something wrong.
Something's not right here.
Yes, but unfortunately, no one was giving me any answers. And then we went through another tests, genetic tests. Nothing has come up. Nothing was
A miss in
showing.
any way. Yeah.
Yes, and Oleg was attending a normal school,
Hmm.
normal,
Right. Right. Sure.
not specialist school at the time. He went to school at the age of 4, just for because he's 28 August. And from then on, I must say the school and the therapy, the money we've put into therapy and everything is enormous.
Yeah.
But they helped us a lot. I mean, Oleg speaks now in both languages, not perfect in either,
Right.
but you can
But
communicate with
still,
him.
right.
Yeah. So therapy it was the key for him, not only at school but at home. Me after work coming, taking him from school, and let's do this for 10 minutes. Let's do this. And you
Yeah.
can imagine his attention span, constant fight to do anything with
Very
him.
hard. Yeah.
Very hard, very hard. Um, and then I can't remember now why and how it happened again. It's probably one of those when we went to see a pediatrician and she said, "Do you want to go through another test?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, let's do it." I
Why
said,
not? Yeah.
"Yeah, I want to know if there
Yeah.
is something not
Yes.
wrong. I want to know." We went through the test and something has come up. And we were like, "What?
Hmm.
What?"
After
So
all
we
these
went,
years. Yeah.
it was in 2019, so he was already 9 years old. Um, and we uh, we saw the geneticist, and I asked question, why,
Yeah.
how, what? Nobody could tell us. They said, "Oh, it's very new." And I said, "Why? Why you didn't tell us early?" And she said, "Oh, it's very new." But I think because you guys started in 2015, that was around the second time when we did the test, but it's not part of the batch
Right.
that they did in 2019. Um, they didn't tell us anything, and there was hardly anything on the website. I could only find a very high level publications.
Right. And what
Uh,
does that mean? Right.
what does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody could give me answers. When I was seeing GPs and pediatricians, they were like, "We don't know, we don't know, we don't know." No answers. And we were lost. And then COVID came.
Hmm.
COVID came, few years on and on. I know he's got something different, but we still don't know what's happening. And then I
Did they
think
ever, so when they told you that this is new, did they tell you what it was at the time? Did they tell you that was a genetic mutation or
Yeah, they did tell us it's a
yeah,
genetic
but that
mutations,
was it.
and well, they ask us if we want to know whether it's coming from us or him, and
Yeah.
we did the test, and Oleg is de novo.
Yes.
Um, but that's it. There was no more
Nothing
explanation.
else. Yeah.
Nothing else. We were
You and
just
so
left.
many families. I mean, I've heard that story so many times, or some that got a piece of paper that said, "We don't know anything about this, but here's a Facebook group." It's incredible to think that here you are finally getting an answer, but what does that answer actually mean?
We didn't even get the Facebook group.
Right. Yes.
Nothing. Nothing. Only 3 years later. because then Oleg went to secondary school, and a normal school, and then after 2 years, I decided it's not safe anymore for him,
Mhm.
and I moved him to specialist school, and he is in it's September, and it's my first parent evening, and I say to the teacher, because Oleg has this very rare genetic conditions. Um, and she says, well, we've got another child in his class with the same genetic conditions. And I'm like, what? And I said, you mean school? And she said, no, class.
What?
Yes. So we are really lucky to be in that position. Because Oleg has a friend. He always calls him gene twin.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, but this is when I actually started investigate myself around what is going on. And then I suddenly found your website. I suddenly found your Facebook group. I don't know why I couldn't manage to find it earlier on, because I know you exist from earlier. Um, but yeah,
Right.
this is our story really. And yeah,
So in that moment that you finally find the website and you finally find the Facebook group, and then you start to see, oh, I am not alone in this world. And how many years we went wondering and guessing if we were by ourselves. I mean, what was that like for you to find you found a home essentially?
yes, it was such a relief. I can't explain to you. Like, I I messaged straight away. I thought, oh my God, is
Yeah,
that Oleg the first child in UK? Because it was so rare. When I went on your website, it says very rare. It's only this amount of children. So I thought, is Oleg the only one in UK
here.
having
Yeah.
this? Yeah. And obviously at that time I haven't realized Carol is
Yeah.
Carol.
Yeah.
And I messaged Carol and I said, I want to be an ambassador. I want to do
Yeah.
this. I want to
Tell me
do that.
everything.
Because I was so excited. I said, is Oleg the first one? And to my disappointment, she said, no, actually, no. Oleg is 30th or 40th. And I
Right.
was like, what? So,
Yeah.
yes, it
Isn't
was
it amazing though?
overwhelming.
And then to know that there in the UK, you have 30 or 40 people who are going through the same things that you're going through. There's this whole,
Yes,
I mean, there's a whole group
process.
right there, you know?
Yeah.
It's so when did you finally meet them? Did you meet anyone in the UK?
Yeah, I met the other child's parents
Yes.
very quickly after, when after the parent evening, and they actually led me to all the information. Um, uh, this
And what
boys that
what are the
message,
odds? I mean, of all the things
I
that could have
know.
happened to be in the same classroom with someone with the same rare genetic mutation. I mean, what?
I know it's funny because when I speak to this boy's mom, I say, if you compare Oleg's photo and the other boy's
Yeah.
photo, when they a little, they look like twins. Seriously.
It's
It's
so
so
funny.
funny.
You know, when you see all the kids together and they look at each other and you can just see this moment of sort of recognition. And it's so, I mean, every time it gives me chills, it makes me get teary because you just see these connections being made and they see each other. Um, but it's the same way for the parents to see that too, because you really see you're not alone in this.
Yes. And that for me, it was such a huge relief that I finally have home, because we were, if you imagine we are foreign people in a foreign country, we're already an odd one, a different one.
Yeah.
Having a disabled child
Hmm.
makes you feel like
You're
you
on an
don't
island.
bel yeah,
Yes.
you don't belong anywhere. And
Right.
suddenly you belong, part of a group.
Yes.
Excuse me.
You're part of a group. You're part of so many who want to be together and want to share stories and share ideas. It's funny because social media can be a double-edged sword, right? Sometimes it brings good, sometimes it brings bad. But in this case, it has been such a tool used by our families to be able to share. and share stories and ask questions. And the private family page is something that is it's a tool. It really is. I mean, because you guys are able to communicate around the world in real time. And I mean, I think it's incredible to watch. And I can only imagine. I hope that it's that same feeling for you and for many others.
It is. And going to the conference when I
Hmm.
met other families, because we haven't met in person yet but I've met them, some of them in conference, and we keep in touch to till now. One of the boys made a huge um, progress in walking
Hmm.
when I met him at the conference. And when the mom sent me a photo, I cried. I said, "Oh
Yes.
my God, I'm so emotional. Finally,
Yes.
you just with them." Because I know what I went through 15 years ago. Every little step, was
Mhm.
put a huge smile on my face, and
Right.
Oleg made a huge mile in his development. Yes, it took him 4 years to do this, or another 5 years to do this, but he's doing it. So, I was so happy seeing him walking,
Yes.
um, and I cried like a little baby.
It's amazing how much everyone, these little they're almost inch stones. Forget milestones. It's inch stones, but when they happen, they're huge and they're such a win. And it's for all the parents that are out there that are watching that are new or that are in it right now thinking, will my child ever walk? Will my child ever talk? Will what are we going to see? It may not be in a normal timeline. Normal I say in quotes here. If you're listening, you can't see me, but normal, quote unquote, right? It may not be in everybody else's timeline. They're going to do things in their own way, in their own time.
Yes, I have a Polish group as well, because there
Hmm.
is quite a few families in Poland that I keep in touch as well. And some of them, they have little children, so they are 2, 3 years old. So the road is still ahead of them. And they are so worried about the development. And I say, just be happy. Just
Hmm.
be happy what they achieve. They might not achieve the same as Oleg, but they will achieve something different, something very important to them. And I think that's where we have to look at. I can't compare Oleg to another child,
No.
so you shouldn't compare your child to Oleg, because all of them are so different, so different.
And so special too.
And
I
so
mean,
special.
truly.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
How was conference for you? Because I know for so many it's an emotional roller coaster. For our new families that have not attended yet, it's an incredible experience to have well, not everyone, but so many people in the same room. What was that like for you? Because I know it was the first time that you'd been able to attend.
It was our first conference, and I am I am grateful that I could attend it. It was overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie to you. There was so much emotions. My husband and I were crying,
I
um,
know.
both of us, um, and looking at all the children. Um, I felt I'm privileged to have Oleg the way he is, because it's so hard to look at some of the children, how hard it is for them, and you want to give them everything and help them. It was hard. It
It was
was
very
hard.
hard. It's hard for
And
so
when
many, and it's hard to watch when all of you are going through all of this too. And we're handing out tissues and hoping that
yes,
everyone's okay because it's just a lot. It's a lot to take in. And then on top of it, then we add in this announcement of human clinical trials during all of this. And I thought, oh my gosh, we're going to make everyone go nuts here. We
yeah,
need
that
to be
that was
careful.
one of the most beautiful days when you guys announced it, and we were like, when it's going to start? We just waiting for the news. I mean, no one will understand the feeling of the hope that a parent have to think that there will be something that can maybe not 100% cure your child,
Right.
but help them live their life like all of us would like to live, you know. Some of us want their children to be independent. Well, most of us want our children to be independent.
Right.
Um, so yes, that was amazing to hear about clinical trials. And we, as an ambassador, I have a bit more inside information
Yes.
than other parents. So we always on the case to Carol when we're gonna hear some more
I know.
information. When you're gonna tell us? When she keeps not yet, not yet, not yet. But it's like, you like you're standing and you, oh, when come on, let's find out.
Yes. I mean, the fact that this has happened as fast as it has happened too is remarkable in and of itself. And you have to hand it to Joe and Carol for pushing this along in the safest way possible, but moving this ball forward, and to this research team who has connected with all of you in a way that so many say has really doesn't happen. I mean, they come to everything, they're so invested, they've worked so hard together, and look at the payoff. I mean, that is the incredible part here, is that this isn't just this doesn't happen this way. You know, science takes years and years and years, and here we are. It's happening. This is happening. And yes, it's going to take a while, but it's happening. It's not 5 years down the road from now or 10 years down the road. It's now.
I mean, I can't comprehend how lucky I am to be part of this rare condition. Um, but as my manager says, it only takes a desperate parent
Mhm.
to get where we are. And yeah, this is it. We had two desperate parents
Yeah.
wanting to achieve something for their children. Um, and I think that that's the beauty of it. Um, if it was for something different, I think it wouldn't have happened. But it's just Joe and Carol pushing and pushing. And have so much admiration for Carol having two children, family, and doing this. It's, you know,
Hats off.
yes,
I mean,
exactly.
eh, there are very few words to say about either one of them that would be enough. I mean, that's um the determination and the wherewithal to do it day in and day out is it's remarkable. I mean, it really is. And watching Carol too just keep and they say it on a regular basis. If it was Dr. Chung says it regularly. If it wasn't for her pushing and pushing and pushing in the best way, we wouldn't be there. But she's on it, and I think that's there's so many parts of this that are so important to make this happen and to make it move forward. And I think it also has to do with the investment from parents like you who have come to the table and said, "Okay, I want to help. How do I help? I want to be an ambassador. How do I help move this forward?" That's so important because we're bringing people in and making them feel like they can be included in this too. And I think you saw that from the beginning. Talk a little bit about how important it was for you to become an ambassador and to kind of come into the fold.
Um, it made me wanting to do more,
Hmm.
more and more. I'm not gonna lie, fighting for Oleg for his therapies at school and everything, like all around the world, it's the same.
Yeah.
You just have to be horrible, pushy, and fight for your child all the time.
Mhm.
And I think this is the feeling that I want to be part of this family and help out. Um, because obviously we know it doesn't come from nowhere. The money doesn't come from nowhere.
Right.
Comes from um different charities, and this is what I'm trying to organize here in England, encourage people
Yes.
um to be part of it, to sponsor, to give money. I've got few ideas, but I think it's
Good.
but it is sometimes it's a bit hard when you have disabled children
Mhm.
to put everyone in the same room and organize something. But I'm sure we will do something together one day. If
Yes.
not, everyone will do something separate.
Yes. And I think that that's the important part is just recognizing that together or separate, giving does make a huge difference. It makes a huge difference to move the effort forward, to take the steps that need to be taken, and even if it's just something small. I mean, that's the whole point. In many of these campaigns we've done, we've said things like, every dollar counts, and every single dollar counts. It goes into this research. It's helping, to move the cause forward. So I think in recognizing that, that's huge in and of itself. And trying to bring people together. It's just hard to do on a daily basis with all of the things we already have to do.
Indeed, indeed, indeed.
But the fact that you're even willing is what's in pretty incredible. And um, for those who are thinking about it, or thinking about hosting a fundraiser, or thinking about becoming an ambassador, or having a bake sale, you know what I mean? Like, if they're thinking about something, what's your message for them going forward? Because sometimes it's hard to just get going.
And it is hard for me to get going as well, because I feel a bit alienated,
Hmm.
and it's hard. But I am part of Oleg charity at the school, and I joined last year, and we fundraise at the summer fair, and that was a first time experience for me, and it looks quite challenging and distressing, but once we've passed it, I thought actually it's not too bad. You
Yeah.
just need to ask for help other people, and you're gonna achieve it. And whatever you get, it's always something,
Yes.
rather than sitting and thinking about it all the time.
The littlest things add up. I mean, we've had
Exactly.
bike rides and bake sales and lemonade stands, and it doesn't have to be a huge event, and I think that that's sometimes we think, oh, we have to do these big things, but the reality is that you can do something small, or join together with other people who are near you and put something together, and move that forward. And I think that that's, we need to remember, don't make it so daunting for yourself, just start
And
small.
and you said that I've literally my friend messaged me about cycling
Yes.
on the road bike, which I've never done it,
Yeah.
for the 8th of March, which is Women's Day.
Yes.
And I thought, oh, okay. And literally preparing today for the podcast with you, I thought, why don't I use this an excuse? It's three of us. If three of us
Yep.
get something, there's always something, then nothing. So this is my idea. Now I need to just persevere and do something
Yeah.
about it.
Exactly. And we're going to do it. And then we're going to talk about it, and it's going to be great. And you'll be amazed. There are so many people out there in the world who want to help, and they don't know how to do it. So when you put yourself out there and you ask for it, and this for you, for anybody else, it's funny the way that people show up for you. They really want to, they just don't really know how sometimes. And it's amazing the way the good comes out.
I hope so.
Yeah, they will. I know it's a little scary, but we'll get there, right? One day at a time.
Yes.
Um, I think that as the parent of a teenager now, many of our parents with younger children, or those who are just joining our group, are looking to you, and to those who have older children as well. So what the future looks like. What's your message to them when they're in the thick of it, when they're little or just newly diagnosed? What's your message to them right now?
Um, it because it's hard to say, because you would want to say so much, but
Yes.
I think I've already touched on it. Just embrace your child,
Mhm.
concentrate on therapy, and 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 don't close in your own bubble, because I will tell you, Christina, for 9, 10 years, I don't think I existed as a woman.
Mhm.
I I just closed up so much. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to see people. I just concentrated so much on Oleg. And then when he started showing a bit of more independence, then I suddenly felt, okay, now I can let go. I can be a bit of me again.
Right.
Um, but now I'm nearly 50.
Hmm.
And what do I do?
Yes.
So
I feel like
try
that
to
happens a lot in life, right? I mean, all of a sudden another door opens and you're like, all right, so now what? Now what are we going to do? For so many reasons, too. It's what do we do now? How do we change? How do you reinvent yourself in a different way?
exactly, yeah.
It's going to happen. It's I think these things happen for a reason, too.
Maybe, and hence I decided to be an ambassador because I need
Right.
some new challenges, something new, some like a wheel, you know?
Yep.
It has to be on and on and on and
Yeah.
on. So that's why, yeah.
I love it. I think it's so important. And I think that, sometimes it can feel overwhelming to try to get involved and do things. And it seems like one more thing to do. But in so many ways, when you're doing it, it brings joy and support and so much goodness to your life, too. You're doing a good thing, you're getting good in return. And I think that that helps as well. And I hope that for our new families, too, that they see that and that they want to get involved because. Um, it's important to have there's so many now. We want to bring everyone together as best we can, and the more ambassadors that we have, the more it's helping to spread the word and bring more people in. And I said to you in the beginning of this that what I heard over and over from new families at our conference was, I've listened to every podcast and I want to hear from the parents. I want to know what this looks like. So I'm grateful that you took the time to come and tell your story and to give some words of wisdom and advice. I think that's just it's so important to be sharing all of this. This group is incredible. So to share that is so great. But I want what do you want to say to the new families and the families that you've met and those that you know? Like what's your message for them?
Um, wow, you put me on the spot again.
I'm
Uh,
sorry.
um, well, don't give up. Yeah, try to engage with you guys. It's worth it. Um, make sense. Don't alienate yourself, and yeah, fundraise for a good cause. Because we all gonna benefit, whether directly or indirectly. I mean, I have spoken to Polish families, like I said, and I've met my MP, um, and looks like even though um, the research is not happening at the moment in UK,
Hmm.
we might be beneficial from it because it's something called orphanage
Yes.
orphanage
The orphan drugs and
uh,
all of that.
yeah,
Yes.
orphan
Yes.
drug. So it's important for all of us to have access to it.
Mhm.
And like I said, you haven't got the money all the time, so we
Mhm.
need to fundraise and make sure there is money for it, and we
Absolutely.
all gonna benefit sooner than later, I
Yes.
hope.
Yes. And don't and I think that that's an important message too because the human clinical trials are happening here in North America in the United States and I think that it's important to remember that this is the first step for the global family. Um, so we're one foot in. We take the first step forward and then the chips fall where they may after that. And so I think that that's what's important to remember is that just because it's happening here doesn't mean that we'll have not have an impact elsewhere because it will. And
It will.
it's there's so much encouraging information to come.
And families have to realize that
Yes,
although it's in America, it's for our children benefit, all of us,
everybody.
whether we are UK, Poland, Italy, Colombia, Israel. everywhere
Yes.
we should have access to these medications. But yeah, you guys need support. Joe and Carol need support.
Yes.
So
One
let's
one
do it.
step at a time. Let's do it. I agree. Carolina, thank you. Thank you so much for
Thank
spending
you.
some time with me and for being here and for all that you do for JGA. We appreciate you so much. And we look forward to seeing you again and giving you another big hug.
Hopefully, yes, I would
Yes,
love that.
we hope
I would
so
love
too.
that. Yeah, because that's another thing. Don't give up on the conference because it's one of the most amazing, thrilling experience ever.
Having everyone in the same place is
Yes,
incredible. It really is.
incredible. Yeah.
Yes. We feel
And
it too, you know.
and how Carol managed to organize and made everyone on time, come on time, and it amazes me.
Well, it's about a year's worth of work from a team of five people that we bring together, and Carol leads the charge on that. And um, it's I, we've done it now, you know. Now we kind of know how to do it, but then everybody has to fall in line. And this was the biggest one that we'd ever done, and so that was a whole nother ball game. I mean, that's a conversation for another day, I think, because we were just like, how do we get all these people to be in where they need to be at the right times? And but
And they
everybody,
were, and they
yeah, they
were.
did, and it was great. And the children were wonderful. They it was a lot to ask of them too, and everybody did their part to make it successful. And I think that, again, I walked away from that week just thinking, wow. Wow, for so
It
many
was.
reasons.
Yes, indeed.
It was really beautiful. So I hope we get to do it again at one point. It's just, now
Fingers crossed.
right, exactly. We start talking about it. So, yes. Well, I will let you get back to your day. Please give
Thank you.
Oleg a hug. Tell him that I
Will
said
do.
hello, and
Thank you.
we'll be in touch again. I know we're gonna keep doing these and updating everyone and talking and moving things forward. So keep us posted on your cycling. We want to know.
Yes, I'm going to call my friend today.
Good.
I thought after our conversation, I said,
Yeah.
"Can we do this? Do you think
Let's
that's going to work? Let's set it up.
let's
Let's set up a fundraise page. It's 50K. I've never done so long riding,
yeah.
seriously. So it's probably going to kill me, but you know,
I hope not. You know what? It's just good exercise. We just keep moving forward. You may not walk
she
after you get off
says,
that bike for a while, right? I know. No, it'll be great, but let us know how we can help too. Okay.
"Okay,
All
thank
right.
you. Will do.
Carolina, thank you so much. And thank you to all of you who have tuned in to listen as well. We appreciate it. If you'd like to join the podcast, please send me an email. We'd love to have you on. And if you have not heard our other podcasts, you can find them on our website. You can watch them there, jordansguardianangels.org, also on YouTube for translation services. And podcasts are found on any of the major podcast platforms, so you can listen and stream them any time of day. So thank you again. We will see you soon. And
Thank
thank you
you.
to all of you who were here today. We appreciate it. We'll see you soon, everybody.